It's dynamic, fast, stylishly acrobatic, and has one of the most ridiculously fun aerial styles in the game. Welcome to my guide on the insect glaive. Hey guys, this is Gaijin Hunter. What follows is my weapon tutorial from Monster Hunter Generations, and if you already know everything from it and you just want to jump to what are the changes in Generations Ultimate, about the new art, Alchemy Style, and Valor Style, jump to the timestamp in the description down below. If you're new to Generations or you want to have a refresher, please sit back and enjoy the entire video. The concept of the insect glaive is simple enough. You have a long staff-like weapon called the Glaive, which you can use to do aerial attacks, and on your shoulder is a cute bug called a Kinsect. You can send the Kinsect flying out towards monsters, and when they collide with them, they'll grab one of 4 different colored extracts depending on where it hit. Call it back and collect the buff. And you can also combine different colors to get even stronger buffs. Pretty cool, huh? Before we jump into guild style, let's cover the core concept so we have a solid understanding. Okay, press R and X and your Kinsect will fly forward, so simply aim and shoot. Don't worry if your bug is slow at first, you'll get to level it up later so that it becomes much faster. After the Kinsect hits the monster, it'll snatch the extract that corresponds to the body part it hit. You can see this on the upper left of the screen. All you have to do now is press R and A to call it back and collect your buff. Now, while it's simple to just aim and shoot, you can press the R button to mark a monster, and that way you can send the Kinsect out in any direction and it'll aim for that spot. But honestly speaking, I don't think it's that useful because it takes too long to do, and if you miss your mark, you now have the wrong body part marked. So just learn to aim and shoot the Kinsect out straight. As a result, the weapon starts out kinda close distance because your bug is slow, but as they level up and get faster, it'll turn into a more mid-distance weapon. If you hold down R and X for a few seconds, your glaive will begin to glow. Release X and it'll send out the Kinsect in a very powerful spinning attack. This is pretty powerful, but don't let it become a distraction. Your glaive is your main weapon of destruction. Okay, now that we get the concept of sending off the Kinsect, let's look at the 4 different colors of extracts that you can get. White. White is the most common since you generally get it from the feet or the body part that the monster moves with. White buff lasts for 90 seconds and it increases your movement speed and it lets you jump further and higher, which we'll cover later. For all the extracts, they'll blink when they are 10 seconds away from expiring, and you can simply grab the color again to reset the time all over again. Red extract. Red is the key to this weapon. You are either hunting with it active or you are focused on getting it, so just consider this an upkeep cost. Red is almost always the head of a monster or the part of the monster that they are most aggressive with. For example, like Nargacuga, it would be its tail, not its head. It lasts for 60 seconds, and during this period your attack animations change and you do about double the hits and double the damage. Yeah. Orange extract is the hardest color to get. It's usually the well-guarded or tough part of a monster, like their belly or their back. It lasts for only 45 seconds, and when you grab it, it gives you knockback protection, meaning that you won't get knocked out of your attacks if you're hit during it by a weak one. Finally, we have green, which is usually the whatever part of the monster, just like the tail or something. It simply heals a little health when you grab it. So that's the effect of a single color, but while it's active and you grab a different color, it can unlock some new stuff. The white extract acts as the catalyst, and that's what unlocks the additional powers if it's active at the same time as you have another color, red or orange. A double up ends as soon as one of the colors expire, and you can just grab the extract color that's about to expire to keep it going. White and red. You'll get a massive 15% power boost, so this is definitely where you want to be going for. Please note that they changed the way that the attack is increased. In Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, when you got white and red, it would actually change the attack value on your status screen, but for Monster Hunter Generations, it now changes the motion value. White and orange. You'll get a 6% defense boost as well as the armor skill Rock Steady, which gives you quicker recovery from large knockdown, medium quality earplugs, and small wind resistance. It's a lot nicer than you can imagine. And finally, the triple up. While a double up lasts only as long as both colors are active, Once you get red, white, and orange, regardless of how much time was left on each color, it triggers a triple up, which will last for 60 seconds. During this period, you get all the buffs from all the other colors, plus your motion value bonuses go to 20% instead of 15%, and your defense bonus goes to 8% instead of 6%. It's insane. I'll have a section at the end of this tutorial that covers a little bit about the Kinsects, but just know that you can level them up in the game, so that they can specialize in either power, stamina, speed, or overall balance, and the effects that you can get from each Kinsect are pretty substantial. Okay, now that we've got the buff system covered, now it's time to vault into guild style. Okay, before we start, there's one thing I'll mention now and get out of the way, but Insect Glaive was overpowered in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, so it's very understandable that it had to get nerfed. So how did they do it? Well, they did it by reducing the motion values by about 15%. The weapon is still one of the most powerful despite that, and assuming you know how to use your Kinsect, you can very easily go back to the insane power output it had in the previous game. Plus, the new Kinsects have additional buffs, so overall I'd say that this weapon is as good if not better than the previous game. The moves you are about to see you'll almost never use because you'll want to be fighting with the red extract active, but it's important to see what happens when you don't have red so that you understand the importance of getting it. Your draw attack is a nice forward lunge. Note that for the next 3 seconds you'll get super armor, meaning that you won't get knocked out of the combo if you're hit by a small attack by either the monster or a teammate. Your idle X attack is an upward twirl that does 2 hits and starts the 3-hit X button combo. Note that you can also do this move if you press X after you perform an evade. Press X after the upward twirl and it'll do the downward right strike. Then finally press X a third time to do the back smack. This does 2 hits and finishes the combo. Here's the 3-hit combo in full. You can press forward on the circle pad and press X to do a thrust. This is a weak attack, but it can also act as the first hit in the 3-hit combo. The reason why this move is so critical is because if you press back and the A button after it, you can do one of my favorite moves, the backflip. Okay, now it's time to look at the A button moves. Press forward and A to do the forward lunge. This is the same move you do as your draw attack. From here you can go into the X button attacks, or you can press A once more to do a slam finisher. Idle A is a powerful left strike. This acts as a replacement for the lunge in the 2-hit combo, so if you hit A one more time afterwards, you'll follow up with that slam finisher. Speaking of combos, there's one that you have to learn. The second hit in the X button combo is a right strike, and the idle A is a left strike. That's not a coincidence, you can chain these two together. Press X to do the upward twirl, then afterwards press X to do the right strike. Follow that up with the A button for the left strike, and then X again to go right back into the upward twirl. So XXA, XXA, that is your combo. There are tons of other combinations you can do, but this one is king, and you'll see why once we get into the red extracts. Okay, the gamut in the room that I haven't talked about yet is the jump. At any time, even mid-combo, press R and B to vault forward into the air. While in the air, you can press the X button to do an aerial strike. This of course can lead to mounting a monster. You can also press R in the air to do a marking shot, and while I recommend that you never use marking, it does push you backwards, so it can be used as kind of an evasion out of a jump. After any move, you can press backwards in R and B to do a backward vault. You can chain the two of these two together. The white extract will increase the height and the distance you travel during your jumps. And the last move before we go into the red extract animations is the mid-combo marking strike. If you press R in the middle of a combo, you'll do a pretty weak swipe that also marks the area in which you hit. Seriously though, I've never really used this move, but I know from people who do utilize it that speak about it and say that it's great. So if you can figure out how to make it work, great, but I'd rather be doing bigger damage. It's all about the red. The moves you just saw are pretty weak, and you'll never want to use them. When you have red extract active, they'll do more hits and they become more powerful, so always hunt using red, and only focus on getting red if you don't have it. With red, every attack except the forward lunge and the forward poke get an extra hit, and their motion values are increased to almost double. The upward twirl now does 3 hits, which is insane. The second X button combo attack now does 2 hits. And the final X button attack does 3 hits. The forward thrust is the same, but the backflip now also does 2 hits. Okay, let's look at the A button attacks. The idle A does 2 hits now. And while the forward lunge is the same, the finisher is a stronger attack that does 2 hits. And it's not just the ground attacks, the jump attack itself also gets 2 hits as well, which makes it much easier to mount a monster. Now the real hidden gem of the red extract is that combo we were talking about earlier, which is X to do the upward twirl, X to do the downward attack, A to do the other downward attack, and then X to go right back into the upward twirl again. When you do this with red extract, there's a new transitional hit that occurs after the A button when you're going back into the twirl. So the twirl actually does 4 hits instead of 3, and has a massive motion value of 78 or 89 if you have red and white as a double up. So try to go for the combo when you're standing rather than after an evade, so you can get that AX transitional hit. Phew, so that covers the guild style. I know it sounds complicated, but it really isn't, so just practice getting red from the face of the monster and learning how to combo and then jump around. If you're having trouble getting the orange for a triple up, just focus on red and white, or you can mount a monster and then grab orange while it's down. It's also worth noting that small monsters in the area only give 1 color, so consider them kind of extracts walking around that you can pick up a la carte. Aerial Style. Everyone was worried, myself included, that the Glaive would lose its position as the king of the sky with the introduction of the Aerial Style for the other weapons, but nope, Insect Glaive is still by far the king. Instead of the upward glaive jump with R and B, you now do a forward slingshot. It lets you close distances really fast, be super aggressive, and you can get mounts faster as well. Heck, you can even use it to get out of the area as like an evasion move. With the Aerial Style, you do not need red extract to do a double hit in the air, you get that by default. Okay, so we know the Aerial Style gives you an amazing forward flinging slingshot move, and you also get 2 hits in the air, but that's not all. Once you get the red extract, the aerial jump and the aerial vault will result in a forward spin attack that does 3 to 4 hits. You can change the direction of the spin with the circle pad when you perform the vault. Your instinct when you do this spinning jump attack might be to time out the X to when you're about to hit the monster, but this thing just keeps spinning, so just hit X once you vault up in the air, and that'll get you the most maximum amount of hits you can get. On the ground, you will lose the forward plus A lunge, but really, who cares? The forward slingshot is more than you need to close some distances. Aerial Insect Glaive is probably one of my favorite weapon style combinations in this entire game. Stryker Style. The Stryker Style for Insect Glaive is probably the most abrupt change across any weapon style combination. We'll just call this super simplified mode. Sending out your Kinsect is now done by simply pressing the A button. Press R and A to call it back. Now you might be asking yourself, what happens to the A button moves if it's all been given to the Kinsect? And you'd be right, they're all gone. All you have is the X button for attacking. That's it, one button. Press forward and X to do the lunge. The X button attack is now a 5-hit combo. The first 3 hits is the standard X combo from the other styles, and afterwards it'll follow up with the lunge finisher and a forward poke if you keep pressing X. There are a few different weird ways that you can customize the combo by pressing forward and X during it, but I won't bother trying to cover them. Now while you can still kick some butt with Stryker Style, it is incredibly limiting what you can do. Adup Style. The Adup Style comes with one huge caveat. No matter what the stats of the Kinsect you are using, you can only send it out once and it gets fatigued. That means that you better not miss, and it also means that you have to wait for it to come back on its own, and you cannot call it back yourself, so you better be using speed bugs with this style as well. Okay, now let's see what that trade-off gets us. After an Adup evade, press X and you'll do this new auto extract hit. You'll do a powerful hit with the glaive, and your insect will do kind of a circular motion around you and the monster, and it will automatically grab an extract. This allows you to get double ups and triple ups much faster. Or after an Adup evade, you can press A to do a forward lunge. So you'll want to use this if you don't need any extracts and you just want to go in and start punishing the monster. The Glaive was already super powerful and mobile, so they do punish you with a restrictive Kinsect for the ability to evade through anything. To be honest, the trade-off actually isn't that bad if you're really good at aiming with the Kinsect, and the style can certainly help out when you're going up against monsters like Glaive, who has a really wide-reaching hit, so the ability to evade is going to be very powerful. Kinsects. I have a video in the description below that I'll put the link to that walks you through how to upgrade a Kinsect and what the final forms do. Please note that in this game you can now level up your Kinsect completely separately from the Glaive it belongs to, so you are no longer stuck upgrading one before you can upgrade the other. That's awesome, so good job Capcom for doing that. Now in my video I praised the balanced Kinsect, but after a lot of playing I could say that the affinity boosting speed Kinsect is also as good, if not better. So go for those two in the game, the affinity up speed Kinsect or the balanced one. It really is just a decision. Do you want super speed and critical eye +3 from simply grabbing white, or do you want to be able to get 90 seconds of triple up instead of 60? Hunter Arts. Now before we go into final thoughts, let's take a look at the Hunter Arts, which quite frankly are not as flashy and amazing as the other weapons. First up is Extract Hunter. This art takes a while to charge up, but once you do, you'll do a big windup and a powerful send-off of your Kinsect. If the Kinsect lands a hit, which is 70 motion, you'll get all 3 extract colors in one shot. At level 1, the triple up will last for 30 seconds, at level 2, 60 seconds, and at level 3, you'll get 90 seconds of triple up. This is really great to hold on to once you charge it up, so if you have a normal triple up and it's about to expire, you can then activate Extract Hunter and boom, you're still doing triple and doing maximum damage. Bug Swarm. I'm sorry, I don't know the actual name for this in English yet. You'll do a long animation, but once it's done you'll get a swarm of bugs that will surround you for a period of time and will hit anything that is close to you. They do 5 attack with each hit and 16 stun with every hit if you're next to the face of a monster. I think the art lasts for about 60 seconds. While you have a swarm of bugs around you, if you grab the red extract, they'll do 6 attack instead of 5, which I guess is nice. If you grab the white extract, they'll hit with a higher frequency, which is really important. And if you grab orange, the bugs will get natural part breakers, so they will help to stagger and to break parts of a monster. This move is really great. You can sit there really close to a monster and comboing them, and it's just additional damage that you can do. The Super Slam. You'll do a vault upward and follow it down with a powerful slam. If you still have the swarm of bugs Hunter Art active when you do this move, they'll explode at the end doing an additional 150 motion value. If you're using Guild Style or Stryker Style, you'll then be able to pair these two skills together and use them like a combo. It's incredibly satisfying and almost always staggers and breaks parts. Very fun. And now for some final thoughts. The Insect Glaive remains one of my favorite weapons in the game. The Guild Style is solid, and you do get the ability to pair the Swarm of Bugs and the Super Slam Hunter Arts together, so that's nice. Stryker for me is just way too limiting. You can still do good at it, but any proficient Glaive user will always be able to do better with the other styles. Aerial is by far my favorite, and one of my favorite in the entire game actually. Not only do you not really lose anything, but you also get the ability to be super aggressive. There's nothing quite seen like a aerial Insect Glaive user just fling over from behind your back at the monster. The Adup Style is solid, but it requires equally solid handling of the Glaive and the Kinsect if you wish to match the performance of the aerial style. So Adup Style, I think in the right hands, is a very good, viable choice. Changes. In Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, you can finally detach a Kinsect from one Glaive and equip it on another, so no more having to make multiple versions of the same Glaive just to have different loadouts. I'll be doing a separate Kinsects guide, so I won't be going over the new G-Rank Kinsects in this video. Alchemy Style. For this style, you'll lose the backflip, Kinsect charge attack, and the aerial marking, so 2 of those moves you probably don't use anyways. Combo-wise, pressing X after the upward twirl will now do the double smack finisher, so the new combo is basically X and X if you want to get off that double hit first, or to start with a poke and do something like this. The new combo is basically X and X if you want to get off that double hit first, or to start with a poke and do something like this. or to start with a poke and do something like this. The reason why that double smack finisher is good is because it charges up the alchemy pot pretty fast. The alchemy barrel has useful items such as earplugs for glaive users, and being able to equip 3 hunter arts means that you can finally utilize the synergy of those kinsect focused hunter arts. The Stryker Style was so bad that this really shines as a way to finally enjoy those arts. Valor Style. When not in Valor mode, you'll lose the ability to do your jump attacks as well as the not so utilized marking strike. You'll also lose the X button combo finisher, but for the most part, like the bread and butter combo that we always use is completely intact even for non-Valor mode, which is really surprising. For cancel attacks we have quite a few. Hold Y then press X to do a double strike. Hold Y and press A to do a powerful backflip. Finally, hold Y and press R and B or back in R and B to do a forward or backward vault. Once you're in Valor mode, things get interesting. First off, you get that snazzy Valor step, which is really great for a weapon like Insect Glaive. For this style, several of your attacks will have the kinsect go in like kind of auto mode, both attacking the monster and grabbing extracts. The kinsect attack that does happen automatically is where 22 motion or 28 motion with red extract. Your kinsect will zoom out forward and strike the monster if it's in front of you after you do a backflip, forward A lunge, jump attack, or a marking attack. The special A button finisher attack, there's 2 ways to do. You can either do it through the A button combo or simply press A after the upward X button twirl. This will cause the kinsect to do a strong attack worth a whopping 50 motion value. Another change that will help if you get used to it is the A swipe, which you can do either after a poke by pressing A or just pressing A while idle, and this will automatically call your kinsect back to you and do an attack all in one shot. Honestly, it sounds complicated as all get out, but after a few times of trying it, I think you'll get the hang of it. The Glaive gets the ability to evade attacks using that Valor sheath. It doesn't really lose any of its good stuff both in and out of Valor mode, and the kinsect goes bonkers in Valor mode, so it really is an amazing style for the weapon. New art. This new art will last for 120 seconds at level 1, 150 at level 2, and a full 180 seconds at level 3. This increases the power of your kinsect by 10%, and then when you send it out to do an attack to the monster, it will do an additional hit for another 20 motion value each time it hits. If ever an art was created specifically for Valor mode, this would be it. Overall, finally we have a crazy good style outside of aerial to choose from with the Valor style, and it gives us a reason to make a power-based kinsect and not just a speed type. Aerial remains hugely popular and for good reason, and Stryker is still horrible as all get out. For the Glaive, like the Charge Blade, the time that you invest in it pays back tenfold. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, happy hunting.